October the 5th, 2005, Dahlia Williams was attending the funeral of her late loving husband, Samuel. They were happily married for 10 years before a horrific accident cut their fairy tale short. After the funeral, friends and family gathered to pay their respects before eventually departing. For Talia had asked to be left alone. For the first time in a very long time, and in the same house that carried all the beautiful memories over the years, Talia was all alone. She stayed on her sofa, and tears were her only comfort. Hours passed, and it was now just past midnight. Suddenly, amidst all the silence, she heard knocking on the door. She was shocked, but not just because there was knocking past midnight, but also because the knocking style was similar to none other than her late husband, Samuel. It can't be him now, or can it? Maybe someone from the family knew about the knocking and is playing a sick game. But then they all left a long time ago, so it couldn't be them. Dahlia finally gathered enough courage to get up and slowly move towards the door. The knocking continued as she took her hesitant steps forward. Her fear grew the closer she got to the door. She's now right there. But should she take a peek? Or perhaps open the door? Dahlia hadn't yet mustered enough courage to do either of those things, so she decided to place her left ear on the door instead. The knocking stopped the moment her ear touched the door. She waited and waited, expecting to hear anything. But there was nothing. No knocking, no sound, just void. And it reminded her of the same void she now feels inside her grieving heart. With her ear still on the door, Talia decided to try to speak to whoever or whatever was on the other side.
Sam? Sam, is that you?
Talia barely uttered those words, and then just stood there in silence. She wasn't sure she wanted a response, but at the same time, she really needed one. But once again, there was nothing. So she finally took her ear off the door. But just as she did that, the knocking returned, furiously this time. That's it. She's got to take a peek and see who is behind the door. Slowly but surely, her eyes peeked through the hole to the unknown. But to her surprise, there was no one out there. It was just the empty corridor. Yet somehow it felt as though it was getting closer, little by little, until there was nothing but darkness. Did someone turn off the lights? She thought, but she continued staring into the dark, hoping for answers. Suddenly, someone looked into the peak hole. In her panic, she quickly stepped back from the door, only to be blocked by an object behind her. It felt like a human, and it was right behind her. Talia's eyes widened, and her body shivered with fear. But that didn't stop her from turning around slowly. But there was no one behind her. Talia felt dizzy and slowly fell to the ground. The pressure was all too much to take. Then, as if that wasn't enough, she heard the door open behind her. Someone was inside, and that someone was slowly approaching her, closer and closer now. The footsteps sound stopped. For a moment, there was only the sound of Talia's fear. But then, Talia's body was dragged from behind towards the door. She wriggled and screamed, but no one could hear her, let alone help her.
Are you there? I don't know where I am.
Sister! somehow, she quickly turned her gaze towards the door. It was now closed. Was all that just a dream? It had to be. She found her late grandma's portrait in her hands. Although she didn't remember ever grabbing it. But it wasn't long since she lost her too. So she held the portrait close to her heart and succumbed to her grief. At least the nightmare she just experienced was only a terrible dream. Or was it? Hey, I just arrived. And, well, you're right. It's absolutely quiet in here. Just the way I like it. I told you, man. Yeah, you're always right. You know that's true. And I've got to tell you though, you're not actually always right. 'Cause, remember the time when... Hello? Wait. What is it? Did you hear that? Hear what? What the fuck? What's going on? It sounds like someone is crying. Oh shit. Forget what I said. Get the hell out of there. I'm gonna have to check it out. Are you listening to me? I said, get the hell out of there. No, look. I'm gonna call you back, okay?